Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's topic, I'm going to talk about how to transition into the job market in the US after school. I think the time is ripe and I've had lots of questions from people on this topic. So in this video, I'm going to focus on students who want to transition into industry. So if you're a master's, PhD student, I'm not touching on transitioning into academia. Today, I'm focusing on transitioning into industry. Okay. So, first of all, let me say that I know the job market is quite brutal right now. You've had a number of rejections. If you're finding it hard to land a job, I sincerely empathize with you. I know it's not easy. The job market is quite brutal. Okay. But there is hope. I hope that the strategies I share here, you'll be able to apply one or two that can help increase your chances of getting a job. Okay. I want to see you shining. I want to see you getting a job. So to begin with, I'll share how I got a job after grad school and then share how you can also land your job in this crazy market. Okay. So starting off with how I got my job while in grad school, let me start with a timeline. When did I start searching? I think I started searching about a year before I graduated. And I got a job, I'll say 6 months before graduation. So if you're watching me, know that getting a job can take anywhere between a month to a year and a half. So you want to start early. You want to start at least 6 months ahead of time. That'll give you enough time to do most of the things that I'm going to talk about here. All right. Now, how was I searching? I was searching through online, and I was also searching through some career fairs. So online applications, I did them a lot of times, and I think I got almost immediate rejections, the next day or so, and it was painful. And then career fairs. I was not doing much career fairs, but I wish I had done more career fairs. So how I eventually landed the job, I got my job through a career fair, and it was a career fair at National Society of Black Engineers. So if you're an engineering student or even a STEM student watching me, join National Society of Black Engineers. I highly recommend. If they don't even have one on your campus, search online and join the National NSB and attend NSB conference. There is one coming up this March, so check it out. Register for it and attend. So I got my job through NSB Career Fair. I think it was my second or third NSB. But this time, what I did differently was that I prepared ahead of time before going to the career fair. I did a lot of research about the companies that were accepting environmental engineering students. And I can delve into, how to prepare for career fairs in a different video. But I did a lot of preparation before going to the career fair. Now, during the career fair, I approached my company's booth and I started a conversation with them. From the research I had done, I had found out that they had recently merged with a company called CH2M. So when I approached the booth, you want to start a conversation. You just don't want to appear like you're so desperately looking for a job. Okay. So I approached the booth and I was talking to the employee at that time, and I said, "Hey, Jacobs, I heard that you recently merged with CH2M. How is that going?" So the guy immediately saw that I had done some research about this company and I had shown interest in their company. So he immediately, smiled and was like, "Yes, done that merging and all blah blah blah." We talked a bit, and so it became a conversation, right, as though we've known as though we've known each other. So I told him that, "Oh, I'm graduating with my PhD in some months down the line, and I'm looking for roles in line with my skill set." So he took my resume and then said, "Oh, you have wastewater background. We are not currently recruiting for wastewater engineers at this conference, but I know the wastewater team in the company. I'm going to send your resume to them, and I think there are some openings in within the company." And then he told me that, so if you can go and check our website, if you see any role you are interested in, send me the requisition number on LinkedIn, and I'm going to follow up for you. So I was like, "Oh, thank you," and everything. Now, when I got back from the conference, I did exactly as he said. I went on the company's website and I went to search for the roles related to my skill set. And I saw two positions that I was interested in, and I sent him the requisition numbers. Indeed, a recruiter contacted me after I had applied and sent my requisition numbers to him. He followed up with a recruiter. He followed and they called me, interviewed me, and 5.5 years later, we say the rest is history. So, from my experience, you can see that I had that personal contact and then it turned into a referral, right? So, going to the career fair and going to the booth of a company that I had researched put me in contact with someone who then forwarded my resume to relevant people, recruiters, and then it became a job. So I had used that to skip a lot of steps or to skip a lot of people in the application process. So that is one key thing that I want you to remember. Okay, so this brings me to how to increase your chance of getting a job in this crazy market. Be strategic and do targeted job search. Do not do wholesale applications or mass blind applications. You'll be getting rejections almost immediately. You need to do these things I'm going to talk about to increase your chances. So, first of all, I'll say know and target your niche area. Though you've gone through school, especially if you have a PhD, you have developed some skill sets either through your through your research or through some relevant coursework that some specific companies are in need of those niche, those specific skill sets. If you target those ones, you're going to significantly increase your chances of getting a job rather than, let's say, applying generally. What do I mean by this? So let me use myself as an example. And this may be more applicable to, some programs than others. But let me use myself as an example. I remember when I was in grad school, initially I was getting rejections, and this was why. In my school, I would say among the international students, among my friends, I was pretty much the only one maybe doing civil environmental engineering. All of my friends or all the people around me were doing electrical engineering. So guess the companies they were applying to: Intel, Apple, Google, all those, Microsoft, all those companies. And guess what I was also doing? I was also following them and then applying to, let's say, environmental roles within those companies, those tech companies. Of course, tech companies have environmental roles, but those positions are not their core business. Okay. And many people also want those companies anyway. And so when I apply, it's going to be one in a large pool, let's say one in 1,000 people applying for that role. Another example is I have a background in oil and gas industry before coming into grad school. So when I even finished my PhD, I was thinking, okay, I can find I can find environmental health and safety roles in oil companies or other extractive companies. So I had met someone, let's say from ExxonMobil, for example, and I told her that, oh, I have EHS background, I have some environment, health, and safety background. I'm looking for a job. And she said that, they do not sponsor for those roles. Why? Because it's not a core business. Those are support functions. So for support functions, they do not sponsor. So this is all just to say that initially I was just spreading myself thin on just any company at all. But when I started targeting environmentally focused companies, like the company I work for, Jacobs, and other environmental focused companies, at least I was getting an interview and I got a job. Okay, so I don't know the program in which you are in, but if you can target companies that I would say strongly value the skill set you have. If you're an environmental person, target Jacobs, target Stantec, target Brown and Caldwell, Hazen and Sawyer, Tetra Tech, WSP, ACOM. These environmental companies are specifically looking for environmental engineers and a wide range of environmental engineers. So when you apply to these companies, chances that you're going to be a strong candidate is going to be very high. And also, not many people can apply to those companies, right? So you significantly increase your chances of getting a job when you do that niche based applications. Like I said, this may not be applicable to all programs because there are some programs that are not so niche, but for those that it applies to, use it, it'll help you. Okay, now the next big thing, how to get a job in this crazy market, is networking. And this is why about 50% of positions in the US are filled through referrals. In fact, referrals are such a big deal in companies in US such that a lot of companies give referral bonuses to employees who help recruit their friends or their connections. It's beneficial for the company to use the employees to recruit people because they spend less money on recruiters, they spend less time through the recruiting process, and also they have a higher chance of getting quality candidates because they feel that if my employee brings in his or her friend, chances that the person the employee is recommending is equally as good as the employee or even better. So referral is a big deal in the job market. And so you need to ask yourself, how can I approach this job market such that I can get a referral? And that is networking. I'm pretty sure you've heard about network, but it really is what it is. It is what will get you into the door. Network as much as possible. And when you're networking, don't think all the networking has to be your connections. Use your friends of friends, use your former lab mates, use your professors, your advisors, anyone who has a personal connection either with you or someone you know. Try and go through the person. So if you have a lab mate working in a company, reach out to the person. If you have a friend or friend working in a company, reach out to the person and attend career fairs and conferences. So I've talked about National Society of Black Engineers. I highly recommend you attend. Do your research, shortlist some companies. When you go to the conference, go straight to them and speak to them. You will increase your chances of getting a job. Even if they don't have a job on site for you, you can have a contact from the conference whom you can fall on later. And in your networking, use LinkedIn. Besides, career fairs and all of that, you can use LinkedIn as well and other online networking platforms to reach out to people working in areas you are looking at. You can reach out to someone who has a similar background as you. So maybe, I'm a Ghanaian, maybe you're also a Ghanaian. You can use that as a common factor to reach out to me, right? Maybe you attended the same school together. You can just reach out to someone. And so this also means that you need to know how to use LinkedIn to search for people who are relevant to what you're looking for. One who knows the person you're reaching out to personally I highly recommend you go through that person so that that adds more weight to it. Um, for example, a friend of mine reached out to me sometime last year that his friend was applying to apply in my company, and he wanted me to put in a word for his friend. Reached out to the hiring manager on his behalf, and he got an internship. Yeah. And also, when you reach out to people on LinkedIn, you can ask for a 10 minutes information session to know more about the company they are working for and all that stuff. Some will respond, others will not respond. It's okay. You just don't give up, you just keep going. And I'll say that before you even reach out to someone for that information session, it helps when you do some research and say that I've seen that you work for this particular company. I'm also interested in this company that you're working for, and I've seen that there are roles A and B that are open, that are currently opened, and I'm interested in applying because I see that it requires this particular skills, and I think I am a good fit. But I would like to have a 10 minutes info session with you to know more about the company and what you do, if you don't mind. So after the info session, let's assume that this person responds to you favorably and gives you that info session, that time to interact. Depending on how it goes, you can even say that, oh, thank you so much for your time. I think this was very helpful. Would you be comfortable putting in a referral for me? Some will be willing to do that, especially since they've gotten the time to spend 10 minutes with you and listening to you or talking to you. Some will feel that, yeah, you're a good fit, and they'll be willing to put in the referral for you. Sometimes the person can even connect you to the hiring manager. Now, all of this will not, let's say, automatically get you the job. But what it does is that it gets your, I would say, one foot into the door, or it helps you increase your chances of getting the job significantly. I would say by more than 50%. And even use, sometimes people may not be able to offer the 10 minutes info session. But guess what? Some will not forget that you reached out to them. They'll respond to you that, oh, they wish they could make time, but they couldn't, they can't make time because of, their own schedule and all of that. But thanks for reaching out. I would say that personally, I've been given that response quite often recently because of how crazy my schedule gets. But I don't forget the people who reach out to me. And this is what I mean. So there was one time a guy reached out to me, wanting an info session and all of that. And I told him I didn't have the time. But later I realized that my company was doing this virtual job fair, and there was a flyer, and I remembered that guy, and I sent him the flyer, and I said, hey, my company is doing a virtual job fair. This is the meeting details. I recommend you join. It'll put you in contact of broad audience or broader employees of the company. And he was appreciative. So guess what? I think a week or two later, he reached out to me to say that, hey, thank you for sharing the flyer with me. I joined the your company's job fair, and I went to meet. Apparently, there was a senior lab mate, someone who graduated from his level or the same advisor that he was working with, that he didn't know was working at Jacobs. So through that job fair, he met that person. Like he introduced himself, and the person said, "Oh, you're in this particular school. Who are you working with?" And the person mentioned his advisor's name. Oh, he was like, "Oh, that was also my advisor." And boom, that led to one thing and another. He got a job in our company, in that guy's team. So all I'm saying is reach out to people as much as you can. It's going to increase your chances of getting a job. Even when people don't respond favorably immediately, it can still bring something good. Okay. Remember for my NSB career fair, I didn't get a job on the spot. Now, there are a lot of people who get job offers at the career fair. I didn't. I just got a connection who said, okay, when you go and search this, do this, and reach out back. And I did that. And subsequently, I got a job. And using this particular guy's example as well, when he reached out to me, I didn't have a job for him. He was a structural engineer. I'm an environmental engineer. I didn't have the immediate connection for him, but I didn't forget him. And later, when I saw something that would be of benefit to him, I remembered him and I sent it to him. He acted on it. He got a job. So don't be discouraged if you reach out to someone and a person doesn't respond, okay? Just continue reaching out to as many people as you can. I would say that in all your job searching, spend 60% of that your job search time, whatever it is. If you're in grad school and every day you have, let's say, 2 hours to spend on job search, make sure that you're spending about an hour and a half on networking. Networking, if there is any career fair close by, networking through online networking platforms, LinkedIn, strategically connecting with some strategic people as much as possible. The networking is going to help increase your chances of getting a job. And if you don't do that and you spend a lot of your time on online applications, you're going to be applying to maybe 50 jobs a week or 50 jobs a day, and you're going to get almost immediate rejections the next day. Okay. So pause, be more strategic. As I said from the beginning, have your niche area that you target, know the companies in that niche area that you target, try and connect with people in those companies. And as you're connecting with people, try to find people that you have some um, common factors with or common backgrounds with, either same school or same programs or same country of citizenship or something, something, a common background that you can reach out to the person. For online applications, as I said, spend more time on the networking side or the connection side and less time on online applications. Now, on online applications, because of course there are people who have applied blindly online and have gotten jobs, use platforms or career sites such as Indeed, LinkedIn, Glassdoor to see job openings. Just use them to see job openings. Always apply through the company's website. Do not use LinkedIn's easy apply. No, do not apply on any of these career websites, but always look at the job and follow the link to the company's website and go and apply for the job there. This is why there are companies that have not actually posted their jobs on Indeed or on Glassdoor or on LinkedIn. They have not intentionally posted their jobs there. They've posted them on their websites. And these career websites, such as Indeed and Co., have, gathered those jobs and reposted on their website. So if you apply on those career websites such as Indeed or LinkedIn, it gets to the company's, let's say, back end, and the companies don't even see your applications. Sometimes for them to see your applications, they also have to do sort of another retrieval or another application through Indeed, through Glassdoor to get hold of those applications. How many companies want to go through that process or that extra work to, get through another website's um, hurdle to be able to assess applicants from there? Not many companies will want to do that unless they really are interested in getting those particular companies. So it's always better to apply directly on the company's websites. That way, it goes directly to the HR or the hiring managers. So take note. And also, when you're applying, make sure you read instructions, instructions that are attached to the online job postings. Recently, one of my girls got a job on in through Indeed, but this is what the job description on Indeed said. They had a job posting, and the instruction there was to apply, send your resume and cover letter to this email. But guess what? A lot of people were clicking the apply button on Indeed and putting in their applications there. And like I said, for the company to have access to those applications, they have to now go through Indeed to access those applications. So this particular job, she followed the instructions. She saw that the job application has said to apply, send your resume and cover letter to this email. So that she did just that. Guess what? She got called for the job. And the hiring manager actually told her that she got a job because she was the only one out of all the applicants who followed that simple instruction. So make sure you are following simple instructions. Make sure you're following instructions on these job boards or career websites that you're applying to. And like I said, the company's websites are always a better place to apply. And when you're applying, make sure you have a well-tailored resume that matches the job description. The the stronger the match between your resume and the job description, the higher your chance of getting called. So if you see a job description that has nothing close to your resume and you're applying, chances that you're wasting your time is almost 100%. Focus on the jobs that align with your skill set, that you can build your resume to match. Those are the jobs that you have a chance there. Okay, you don't need to match 100% to get called, but at least you want to make sure that your resume is in line up to maybe 70%. And there are AI tools, companies who take applicants through online use the applicant tracking system to screen resumes. So that's the ATS. Now, there are AI tools or online tools that you can use to help tailor your resume to include all the keywords that will pass the ATS or that will pass the applicant tracking system. So later videos, I can, like I said, this is already an extent, this is already a packed video, and later I can, touch on various topics that I've talked about. But yeah, so apply online, making sure that your resume matches the job description. And even after you have applied, always try and see if you can find someone to reach out to who has a connection or who knows someone who works at the company and network with. It's all about the networking. So I know I've crammed a lot into this video, and I know there are several subtopics that I could delve into more detail, but I don't want or I didn't want this video to be excessively longer than it is now, and we can tackle those specific topics. I mean, such as maybe resume, networking, preparing for career fairs, and etc. later. But let me know in the comment section what has worked for you and what you would like to know more about. And I'll be happy to tackle, as I said. And I'll say that in conclusion, I hope that some of these things I've shared, you can use them to increase your chances of getting a job. I know the job market is hard right now, but I wish you great success in your job search. And I hope to see you winning and coming back to say you got a job. And so So thank you for watching this video. Subscribe, like, share, and see you in the next video. Bye.